do not want to call anyone a liar, but from my experience of Johnny, it is impossible to believe that such horrific allegations are true.
Coming at number 10, Paul Bettany. Next month, a lot of high-profile celebrities are going to be giving testimony in a US courtroom over the multi-million-dollar lawsuit between Johnny Depp and his ex-wife Amber Heard. For Paul Bettany, though, this whole ordeal has been quite the nightmare. Back in 2020, his private text messages with Johnny Depp about Amber were made public as evidence in the actor's libel case against the Sun newspaper. Paul said that the texts being revealed were embarrassing and that he didn't know Johnny when he was married to Amber. He only knew him before. In a 2016 Twitter post, Bettany had defended Depp and said, "Known Johnny Depp for years and through several relationships, he's the sweetest, kindest, gentlest man that I've ever known, just saying." But before we jump into our next point, make sure you tap that like button to show some love to the channel. And at number 9, Penelope Cruz. Another big celebrity that had spoken out in defense of Johnny Depp was Penelope Cruz. In her statement, she said, "I've always been impressed by his kindness, his brilliant mind, his talent, and his peculiar sense of humor. I've seen Johnny in so many situations and he is always kind to everyone around. He's one of the most generous people I know. During 6 months of my first pregnancy, I spent every single day with him while we shot Pirates of the Caribbean. My husband and I will never forget the sweetness, protection, and kindness he treated me with during every single step of that process. We love him very much and I feel lucky to have someone so special in our lives." This is a great example of his character, and so Penelope could be someone that Johnny's defense wants to call on to testify against Amber Heard. Speaking of Penelope's husband, in at number 8, Javier Bardem. In a separate statement from his wife in March of 2020, Javier also showed his support for Depp amid his defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard. The two actors had previously worked together in the 2000 film called Before Night Falls, and again in 2017's Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales. In his statement about Johnny, he said, "I stand by Johnny because I have always seen and felt a true caring and loving man in him, an extraordinary and unique artist who has listened to anyone who needed his help. I not only love Johnny but respect him deeply, and I thank him for being the free and careless little boy he is in his art and the mature and loving man he is in the lives of others. Always there when we need him. I love Johnny because he is a good human being, trapped in the lies and manipulations of toxic beings, and yet smiling and loving us all in spite of it. How? Through his music, through his acting, through his silence. This means a lot. Thank you, Johnny. Millions of others like me love you deeply." In at number 7, Sia. The likelihood of Sia showing up to court is, well, not likely. But in a case like this, I mean, who knows? I don't think that Paul Bettany was prepared for a bunch of lawyers to be digging through 10 years of his text messages and emails, but it happened. And the musician gave her take on the situation and came to the defense of Depp. In the tweet, she said, "Just showing my public support for Johnny Depp. I mean, I'd loved him to get clean and stop with the jewelry, but he is clearly the victim after hearing those tapes." In at number 6, Winona Ryder. In a hearing that was done remotely, lawyers for Depp argued that statements from Winona Ryder and Vanessa Paradis be included as evidence in the actor's case against the Sun. They are a testament to Johnny Depp's character and long-standing references for how non-violent he really is. Ryder was engaged to the actor for 3 years beginning in July 1990. She first met him at the Great Balls of Fire premiere in June of 1989, and they began dating 2 months later when she was 17 and he was 26. In her statement to the courtroom, Winona said, "I understand that it is very important that I speak from my own experience, as I obviously was not there during his marriage to Amber, but from my experience, which was so wildly different, I was absolutely shocked, confused, and upset when I heard the accusations against him. The idea that he is an incredibly violent person is the farthest thing from the Johnny I knew and loved. I cannot wrap my head around these accusations. He has never been violent or abusive towards anybody I have seen. I truly and honestly know him as a really good man, an incredibly loving, extremely caring guy who was so very protective of me and the people that he loves, and I felt so very, very safe with him." In at number 5, Vanessa Paradis. Vanessa is another person that we could potentially see testifying against Amber Heard. The French singer is Johnny's ex-wife and mother of 2 of his children. Despite separating in 2012, they still remain very close as co-parents. In her statement to the court, Vanessa said, "I have known Johnny Depp for more than 25 years. We've been partners for 14 years, and we raised our 2 children together. Through all these years, I've known Johnny to be a kind, attentive, generous, and non-violent person and father. I am aware of the allegations which Amber Heard has publicly accused Johnny of for more than 4 years now. This is nothing like the true Johnny I have known, and from my personal experience of many years, I can say he was never violent or abusive to me." In at number 4, Kevin McNally. Johnny Depp's Pirates of the Caribbean co-star Kevin McNally also spoke up in defense of Depp in the past and could be another person that we see testifying against Amber. Back when it was only rumored that Johnny would be losing his role as Jack Sparrow in the franchise, the actor said, "My dream is that some sort of link will be needed between what has been before and whatever bizarre incarnation of it there is to come. But I sincerely think that my fate is so tied in with Johnny that I will go with him if indeed he does go. To be there when somebody creates a modern legend is absolutely extraordinary. For anyone to want to throw that away seems to me criminal." And that, my friends, is just how big of an impact that Depp has made on people. Kevin is not only loyal to Johnny, but still is in awe of being able to watch him create the legendary character of Captain Jack Sparrow. In at number 3, David Yates. David Yates is the director of Fantastic Beasts, and even he could not keep a tight lip on how great Johnny Johnny Depp is. Even in the face of the allegations that were coming out, he still said of Depp, "Honestly, there's an issue at the moment where there's a lot of people being accused of things. They're being accused by multiple victims, and it's compelling and frightening. With Johnny, it seems to me there was one person who took a pop at him and claimed something. I can only tell you about the man I see every day. He's full of decency and kindness, and that's all I see. Whatever accusation was out there doesn't tally with the kind of human being I've been working with." And at number 2, J.K. Rowling. Johnny Depp being cast as the Dark Wizard Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts franchise surprisingly angered a lot of fans. Although Rowling couldn't care less and stated that she had no problem with casting Depp. On her website, she spoke more about the decision and said, "For me personally, the inability to speak openly to fans about this issue has been difficult, frustrating, and at times painful. However, the agreements that have been put in place to protect the privacy of two people, both of whom have expressed a desire to get on with their lives, must be respected. Based on our understanding of the circumstances, the filmmakers and I are not only comfortable sticking with our original casting, but genuinely happy to have Johnny playing a major character in the movies." And coming in at our number 1 spot, Johnny Depp. This one is obvious, but Depp certainly should be included on this list at least. He is the main person testifying against Amber Heard, and we'll just have to wait and see if what he says is enough, because he has already gone over much of the situation in his libel case against the Sun. So Depp will have a lot to go off of. For example, he could personally speak on the couple's history of addiction. Another piece of this story that often gets overlooked is the history of addiction that certainly played a role in this messy divorce. Depp has acknowledged many times that he has tried to kick habits of heavy drug use during the period of his marriage, but added that he sometimes had lapsed. Amber, though, was not some drug-free saint that could just help him through this. In fact, one could argue that her addiction habits only helped fuel their toxic relationship. During one courtroom hearing, Depp claimed that Heard had chopped out lines for him before rubbing some onto her own gums. Depp's lawyer also noted that Heard experienced anxiety, insecurity, and jealousy that would manifest itself in severe outbursts of anger and rage. When Sasha Wass said that Amber would often have 2 or 3 glasses of wine during an evening, Depp fired back with 2 or 3 bottles. Plus, I'm sure there is a lot more to this case that we have not heard yet, and either way, that will come up in trial.
Well, it seems that there's more drama in the $100 million legal war between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard that keeps making headlines. And now, as the battle rages on, celebrities like James Franco, Paul Bettany, Elon Musk, Jason Momoa, and Brian Lord are being called as witnesses in the trial. On top of that, representatives for both Disney and Warner Bros. Are being called to give their side of the insanely messy story. The case has been going on for 3 years and is set to come to a head on April 11th, and now James Franco and Elon Musk are being called to the stand because Johnny Depp claims that they both had affairs with Amber while she and him were married. So now those 2 celebs are officially on Heard's witness list. Both Disney and Warner Bros. Are being called to provide legal business records declaring that there is proof of what is likely going to be said during the trial. Paul Bettany, who acted in WandaVision and the Da Vinci Code, is one of Johnny Depp's friends who is now being forced to take the stand and expose his private text messages with the Pirates of the Caribbean actor. The texts supposedly read extensively of the duo wanting to brutally harm Amber in a number of detailed and extremely gory ways. Jason Momoa is also involved in this case as well for his alleged texts with Amber Heard about Johnny Depp. Should we roll out the red carpet in the courtroom at this point? I mean, holy crap. There are also said to be some emails exchanged by Amber and Zack Snyder and CAA kingpin Brian Lord, although these 2 haven't officially been called to provide their presence in the case. It seems like this may be the upcoming court date that finally lays to rest every accusation we've seen both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard hurl at one another. No stone is going to be left unturned with this extremely extensive list of testifiers and court documents. Deadline predicts that the case will take a few weeks before we see a conclusion, but that they are confident that this will be the one to make the ultimate decision and lay to rest just who is responsible for what they both allege to be an extremely toxic relationship. The relationship in question basically ruined Johnny Depp's career. Meanwhile, Amber Heard is still flourishing in film. We've seen tons of evidence up until this point, so now that Elon Musk, the world's richest man, is being called to testify for his alleged relationship with Amber while she was still married with Johnny Depp, we may finally start to get a much clearer picture of who really is the victim. As Johnny's career diminishes, he also pleads with the public to be on his side. At the San Sebastian Film Festival last September, Depp stated, quote, "It doesn't matter if a judgment per se has taken some artistic license. When there's an injustice, whether it's against you or someone you love or someone you believe in, Stand up, don't sit down. How this trial plays out may be a career-defining moment for Depp, and maybe his ticket to re-entry back into Hollywood if the court sways in his direction. As the star-studded cast of testifiers takes a stand in April, all will certainly be revealed through the emails and texts sent between literally everyone involved.
And at number 10, Johnny's severed finger. One moment that many fans believe Johnny was trying to warn us about Amber is when Johnny's recently reattached finger started throbbing during an interview, and he played it off like it was nothing. Dakota Johnson, who was sitting beside him, even asked him if he was okay, to which he replied that he hurt his finger, but he's fine. And after the conversation, you can see that Dakota looks somewhat worried and thinks that he's hiding what really happened. After they were divorced, Depp revealed the true story about the finger. He alleged that the incident happened about a month after they were married, when Amber was throwing glass bottles at him. Apparently, one of the bottles was broken and sliced Johnny's finger off. This fight was caused because Johnny wanted her to sign a post-nuptial agreement. And at number 9, Australian dog smuggling. During the couple's marriage, they went through a huge scandal after Amber decided to smuggle their dogs into Australia, even though Amber knew that they didn't have the right permits. Many even thought in the apology video that was released after that Depp looked very uncomfortable, almost like he was forced to be in the video with her to seem supportive, although he didn't like that she broke the law. After the fact, we also learned that Heard forced her staff to lie to the courts in order to get out of the legal trouble. Kevin Murphy, the couple's assistant, alleged that Amber demanded he make a false statement about the animals being smuggled into the country. He also said that Heard asked him to contact her former assistant, Kay James, and asked her to, quote, lie under oath to an Australian court. Apparently, before the incident, the assistant, Kate James, told Amber that the permits could not be completed, so she couldn't bring her dogs, but Heard decided to take them anyway, knowing it was illegal. And at number 8, said he was scared. This is another resurfaced clip that a lot of people have been looking further into following all the divorce drama, because it seems that Johnny gives a scary warning to his fans. The interviewer asked Johnny if he has a message to his fans, and without even thinking, he looks nervous while saying, quote, I'm scared to death. I'm frightened and I don't know what to do. I'm confused and I want to go home. Near the end of the unsettling clip, he starts laughing to make it seem like what he's saying is a joke. However, maybe he thought fans would look further into his words and speculate that there was something more going on in his life behind the scenes, which we now know is the case. And at number 7, doctored the Sun pictures. One of the first bits of proof that got Amber a lot of leverage in court and in the public against Johnny was the photos that were published in the Sun showing bruises on Amber's face. Amber claimed that these bruises happened because Johnny threw a phone at her, which Johnny denied happened. And months later, it was revealed that the photos that were published in the paper were actually photoshopped to look much worse than they actually were, which means the whole thing could have actually just been a lie. Also, it was revealed that the judge who oversaw Depp's libel case with the Sun, which Depp ultimately lost, was close friends with the Murdoch family, and his own son was actually a colleague of the person who wrote the slanderous piece on Johnny Depp. So clearly there was just a lot of bias with the whole case and article in the Sun. And at number 6, lied about donating. This one just proves what a liar that Amber really is, after Johnny tried to warn us about her lying for months. In the couple's original divorce settlement from 2017, she won $7 million from Johnny, but she decided to put the money to good use and pledged to donate all the money to the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of LA. However, in March of 2021, Depp exposed that she never donated any of the money. A source close to Depp said the judge thought that she was a great person because of the donation, but the judge now knows she's just a great liar. However, Amber's lawyers claim that she didn't lie and has given some money, just not all of it. And she says she needed the money to pay all of her legal bills. Halfway at number 5, leaked phone call. Probably the biggest bombshell over the course of the divorce were these leaked phone calls between Johnny and Amber, where Johnny exposes all of her lies. In these phone calls, Amber admitted to hitting Depp. In the call, Heard said, quote, I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you, I was not punching you, babe. You're not punched. Adding, quote, I don't know what the actual motion of my hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you. Depp replied, quote, I left last night. Honestly, I swear to you, because I just couldn't take the idea of more physicality, more physical harm on each other. Heard finished off saying, quote, I can't promise you I won't get physical again. God, I effing sometimes get so mad I lose it. In the audio, Amber goes on saying that nobody will believe him if he tries to claim that Amber abused him. And she even justified hitting Johnny, saying that he is bigger and stronger than her, so she needs to use objects to defend herself. And at number 4, investigated for perjury. This point is actually very recent, and on May 7th of 2021, it was reported that Amber is now being investigated by the LAPD for perjury. This is related to an alleged fight that took place in 2016, where Amber claimed that Johnny trashed their apartment in a fit of rage. However, Johnny denied this. New body camera footage from LAPD officers that arrived at their apartment that night shows that the apartment was not trashed at all. Depp's lawyer said in a statement on the matter, quote, Amber Heard and her friend Rocky Pennington staged the May 21st crime scene to prove the allegation against Johnny Depp. Adding, quote, the crime scene was an enormous lie. This is allegedly the night that Johnny threw a phone at Amber's face and left a bruise. Amber also claimed that he threw red wine all over their walls and rug. During depositions, the officers claimed that they saw no evidence of a crime committed that night, and now this body camera footage proves that. In at number 3, Amber Heard's deposition. One of Johnny and Amber's depositions during their divorce trial was leaked online, and from what we see, it's clear he's telling the truth about what happened with Amber and the harm that he faced from her. A body language expert even did a reaction to the deposition where he points out all the flaws in Amber's testimony. While Amber is speaking about the harm she allegedly endured, she's being very flippant, fidgety, and is avoiding answering in full detail, which makes it clear that she is most likely not telling the truth because she's trying to distract from her answers. However, in Johnny's deposition, he's very calm and collected and does his best to present all of the facts to the people listening. His demeanor is seen as a lot more truthful and matches up to his usual demeanor while being interviewed, while Amber's demeanor is vastly different than when she's being interviewed normally, which is a clear red flag. In at number 2, Doug Stanhope. While Johnny was accused of terrible things in the media, he was not able to speak up and defend himself, so one of his good friends, Doug Stanhope, decided to be his voice. He published a piece online detailing all of Amber's manipulative lies and stated that Amber was making all of these false allegations for monetary gain. He said in the essay that he knew Heard planned to blackmail his friend, but felt as though he was unable to do or say anything. He wrote, quote, we'd watched her manipulate and F with him for years. We didn't say a word. To each other, yes, but never to him. Apparently, Depp even told Stanhope that Heard was threatening to lie about him publicly in any and every possible duplicitous way if he didn't agree to her terms. Another one of Depp's friends, Terry Gilliam, commented on Stanhope's piece, adding, quote, like many of Johnny Depp's friends, I'm discovering that Amber is a better actress than I thought. If only the bruise would stay in one place. Johnny Depp supported these statements and thanked his friends for being honest. And finally, at number 1, probably the one you're all waiting for, pooped in bed. This one is straight up disgusting, but the couple's housekeeper exposed that Amber Heard pooped in their bed while Heard was with Johnny Depp. Housekeeper Hilda Vargas said in a written statement that she found the feces and knew they were human. Vargas added that after she told this to Johnny, Amber Heard approached her and told her that the poop photos had destroyed her marriage. The housekeeper said she apologized to Amber even though the housekeeper didn't believe that she did anything wrong, which she didn't. The housekeeper finished off saying, quote, she has a bad temper in my opinion, and I didn't want her to yell at me. And it's crazy that even the housekeeper knew of her terrible temper. And Amber was mad that the housekeeper told on her for doing such a disgusting act, but like, what's the housekeeper gonna do? Keep that to herself? It's a ridiculous thing and needs to be told to everyone. I'm so glad the world knows about that.
In at number 4, legal staff members. Amber Heard willfully lied again, except this time to US Immigration by telling them that her British personal assistant was just a friend and was not working unlawfully. Her former aide Kate James, who was fired by the actress in February of 2015, alleged in a high court battle that Miss Heard deliberately smuggled her dogs into Australia, which led to her being caught breaching quarantine rules and overall thinking that she was above the law. The claims were made in a witness statement by Miss James, which was submitted to the High Court as part of Johnny Depp's libel action against the Sun newspaper. Not only that, but Heard had also asked Depp's former estate manager to lie under oath after she was charged with bringing her 2 dogs into Australia illegally. In at number 2, the busted lip. When asked in the courtroom what injuries she had sustained, Amber said that she had 2 black eyes, a broken nose, a broken rib, bruises all over her body, and that Depp had also busted her lip open. However, the problem with Amber's timeline is that when she alleged these events to have taken place, a video from that evening's festivities shows her on camera after the alleged fight and with no signs of bruising whatsoever, which led to Depp's defense team to accuse Heard of building this new set of lies that all of the abuse actually took place after everyone had left the home. So again, her story is just changing constantly. The other way that she was caught lying was when the lawyers cited her appearance on the Late Late Show with James Corden right after her allegations put Depp's around this time. The clip was even played in the courtroom, and again, Heard had no visible bruises during the filming. Coming in at our number 1 spot, the police report. In April of last year, Johnny Depp had filed a defamation lawsuit against Amber for $50 million after she wrote an opinion piece for the Washington Post about the domestic abuse that she was suffering from being with him. As a result, Depp was fired from his role as Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean, and his reputation was severely tarnished. However, Depp's lawyers received a bombshell of an audio confession where Heard actually admitted to abuse Johnny. Now the hashtag Justice for Johnny is continuously trending, with fans of his not only urging for her to not just be removed from the next Aquaman film, but face criminal charges as well. And this case is actually sort of similar to the Jussie Smollett case, and just like Jussie, Heard should also be in jail for making a false police report that Depp had abused her. And at number 10, defended by exes. With Johnny Depp's character being called into question after the release of that Washington Post article, it was paramount that his previous partners weighed in on the situation, which is exactly what we got back in March of 2020. Both Winona Ryder and Vanessa Paradis came forward to offer supportive statements for Johnny Depp. In a witness statement, Vanessa said, "I have known Johnny for more than 25 years, we were partners for 14 years and raised our 2 children together. Through all these years I've known Johnny to be a kind, attentive, generous, and non-violent person and father. He was never violent or abusive to me." With Winona Ryder adding, "I cannot wrap my head around Heard's accusations. He was never violent towards me. He was never abusive at all towards me." On top of that, Amber has never actually denied that she hit Johnny Depp, which we will get to shortly. Coming number 9, friends with the judge. When it comes to being a judge, there is one thing that you need to be: objective. You cannot make a rational decision if there is a conflict of interest involved. Justice Nickel, who decided the Sun's article about Depp was substantially true, came under fire for his decision after it was revealed that he had links to Amber Heard. Not only that, but he co-wrote a book on media law with Jeffrey Robertson, whose wife was friendly with Jennifer Robinson. Johnny Depp's legal team also claimed that Nickel failed to undertake any adequate analysis of Miss Heard's shifting account, despite the importance of consistency as a consideration of a witness testimony. Plus, Depp's barrister added, he excluded relevant evidence from his consideration, ignored or dismissed as irrelevant matters that substantially undermined Miss Heard, made findings unsupported by the evidence, and failed to assess whether her allegations could withstand proper scrutiny. The judge failed to properly assess her credibility by reference to documentary evidence, photographs, recordings, or otherwise. Coming number 5, stealing stories. Now, if this one happens to be true, then Amber Heard is truly a bad person. According to her former personal assistant, Kate James, Amber had stolen her story of S.A. According to Kate, she had told her former boss about a time where she was held at machete point in Brazil. She then said how she was shocked to learn that in a witness statement, Heard allegedly misrepresented and exploited her story to gain sympathy in court. In her statement, Kate said, "She referred directly to a violent essay that occurred to me 26 years ago, and she twisted it into her own story, and she used it for her own use. I am a sexual violence survivor, and that's very, very serious to take that stance if you are not one." Coming number 3, false charity donations. If you remember, Amber Heard vowed to donate her $7 million divorce settlement to the ACLU and Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. According to Depp's lawyer, Andrew Caldecott, he said that the donation was a calculated and manipulative lie that tipped the scales against Johnny Depp from the very beginning. Depp's legal team then filed a petition with the New York Supreme Court to force the ACLU to hand over official documents that prove Amber's donation was indeed real. Not that long ago, though, the organization refused to cooperate, but with a judge ruling in favor of 23 out of the 24 requests in the motion to compel, they're legally going to have to cough up the receipts. The only request that the judge denied was for the documents pertaining to Amber's sudden role as a brand ambassador for the ACLU. Not only is it morally reprehensible to take money that you promised to a children's hospital, but it also means that people in the courtroom were manipulated into thinking that she was just a super charitable person. At the end of the day, though, we will just have to wait and see what the subpoena brings about. I'm calling it now, though, if she is found to have lied about the donations and the ACLU can't even bring up legit receipts, then it could be game over for Amber Heard.